Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting movie that kind of took me by surprise. It's called The Artifice Girl. It is a 2022-2023 movie. This is one of those movies that was released in 2022, except in the US, where it was released on April 27th, 2023. So you decide, is it 2022 or 2023? Technically, it's 2022. It has a 6.6 star rating on IMDb. It's listed as a mystery, sci-fi, and thriller. And that was my fault. I'm trying to do horror movie reviews on this channel. I thought this was a horror movie, but despite that, I'm so happy I watched this movie. It's about a team of special agents that discovers a revolutionary new computer program to bait and trap online predators. After teaming up with the program's troubled developer, they soon find that the AI is rapidly advancing beyond its original purpose. And I do enjoy AI running amok type films, like AI becomes sentient, and you think of Terminator or Megan recently, and things like that. So that's kind of what I had in my head going in. This was written and directed by Ritch, and it stars a very, very small cast. Tatum Matthews plays Cherry. We'll talk about her in a second. Lance Henriksen plays Gareth. Ritch plays Gareth, who's the writer and director, and major kudos to him. Sinda Nichols plays Dina, and David Gerard plays Omos, and that's the cast. So Tatum Matthews plays Cherry, who is the AI, and I don't know if they did something with her voice or whatever, but she was like the perfect voice, on the screen, on the computer screen, and talking, and she really got those computerized mannerisms down pat. Like, I will research that for you now, kind of like Siri. And it was interesting because the main character Dina, who is a part of this investigation team, the ICWL, which is, I guess, a government agency to track down predators and whatever. They work in conjunction with the FBI. I lost my spot, but she was really good in this too. The movie is kind of like a three-part thing, I noticed, which also took me off guard for just a second. And that's why Gareth is listed as two different actors, Ritch and then Lance Henriksen, who gives, by the way, at the end of this movie, Lance Henriksen, because he plays the elder Gareth, he gives a really moving performance, I thought, like a really interesting thing. There's a lot of like moral kind of dialogue going on in this movie, like AI. How far are we willing to go using AI? How far are we letting AI grow on their own, so to speak? Like where do we draw the line on what we're going to let AI take care of and not take care of, or like how much power are we giving them? So it was really, but this story is on that level, not on a horror level. Like, there's no ill intent by the AI Cherry, and her main function is to interact online with potential child predators and weed out the good from the bad and forward those bad predators to Dina and Amos as a part of that ICWL task force, the Predator Task Force. We move ahead like 20 years, and the story just kind of takes place 20 years after advancements have continued, and then you start to pick up on that Cherry has has definitely progressed beyond what the original I'm not computer savvy code was, or whatever. Um, but her voice was just so good. It also made me think of the computerized voice for the girl in those original Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movies. Like, it sounded very much like that. So then we get the part two. Like I said, it's 20 years in the future. There is the debate going on in the Senate and this panel about what to do next with Cherry, and it didn't pass because one person in the committee voted it down, and it happened to be somebody very dominant to the story. I did get a laugh when Cherry was compared to a Keurig, in the sense of that it's easy because she was so lifelike looking on the computer screen that people in this story had a hard time differentiating between her being a live person with feelings. So, like, there's where the moral part of the story, how far do we let AI advance to where they can have those kind of feelings, and the explanation that this young girl Tatum Matthews does as Cherry, I know it's just a script, but Franklin Rich wrote a very, very good script. It made me think of Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation as well, about how they would explain the parameters that they were confined in, and that they don't make judgment calls based on this or that. And when Cherry is asked to make a decision, when the character says, well, how did you get to that decision? And then Cherry was able to tell them, well, you mentioned salmon in your comment earlier, so I researched in the area where all the local salmon fish places, and there was only these two left, or whatever. There's more to that scene, I don't want to give it away, but it was neat how she filtered all the choices and gave her answer. And then when she got pressed by that same character who was trying to prove a point, that she's moved past her original intent. I'm really butchering this because I don't want to spoil it. Hey, this won 2 awards. 2022 Fantasia Film Festival Audience Award Gold for Best International Feature. 2022 Trieste Science and Fiction Festival, the Asteroid Award for Best Film. I don't know. Then there's a third chapter with Lance Henriksen, Gareth, and it just keeps that. This is now jumped like another 30 years or something. So we get some major reveals of Gareth's backstory finally. We have some very interesting dialogue between Cherry and Gareth, and the revelation that she's going to outlive Gareth, her creator, and just some very deep, thoughtful conversation, and just really touching moments. They play a game of chess. Gareth's in a wheelchair at this point now. Like, that's how progressed. But really great dialogue. I can't say enough about Franklin Rich for his writing and directing on this. Just really smart writing. I was glad that I accidentally watched this movie. I don't want to give too much away because there's so many and really good dialogue in this that if I say too much more about this ending, I'm going to give that away. But it's well deserving of the 6.6 star rating and these 2 awards that they won. So I don't remember if I watched this on Tubi or not. Man, I guess I'm so used to watching things on Tubi that's my auto. If I don't write it down, I can't remember. Well, at any rate, look it up. It's worth, if it's a rental on Hulu or whatever, it's worth it. If you like these kind of mystery thrillers, science fiction, there's no horror in this. There's no, like, AI goes crazy and kills a bunch of people. This is definitely not Megan. This is the opposite side of the spectrum for AI. So let me know in the comments down below if you check this out. And yeah, let's go to the movies. Let's go to the lobby. Let's go get a snack.
So happy our dreams go on.